Hello everybody, welcome back. And as you might be able to tell from the title, we're not doing Fallout 4 right now, no. I've been watching a lot of videos on the boob tube, talking about the Skyrim Remaster, and who's to blame for mods on PS4, and whatnot, and what have you. And I want to talk about these things from a game developer's perspective, not just a uninformed game player's perspective, from someone who actually knows about making games, someone who's actually made mods. I want to tell you, I want to give you an idea of the nuances of the Skyrim Remaster. And am I even broadcasting? OBS says I am broadcasting, but am I actually broadcasting? Please show me a proper video preview, Twitch. Okay, proper video preview. There we go. Alrighty. So what you see here is FO Edit. There is also a Skyrim edit. And it looks very similar. It's all text fields and databases and whatnot. But this is the one for Fallout 4 because Skyrim Remaster is built upon the Fallout 4 engine, which was built for porting Skyrim to next-gen consoles. That's actually how Fallout 4 started, this is it. And the developers at Bethesda said this several times, that to get Fallout 4, the very first step they did was they took Skyrim and they ported it over to consoles, the next-gen consoles, and that's how the Fallout 4's Creation Kit engine began. You can see in here all kinds of interesting things, all the different areas of the game. You'll notice that even though this is technically Fallout 4, you'll notice that there's things like, well, race is kind of given, but there's spells, which is how a lot of effects are handled. Spells and magic effects. You see the spells category that we have up here. Magic effects. So on and so forth. But this is basically what you're going to see behind the scenes for the Skyrim Remaster. It's going to be built on the same engine. It's going to have all the same stuff. It's really kind of interesting because the game actually has built-in support for a lot of Skyrim's features. If I go over to, where are you, keywords. Probably better to look at it through weapons directly. So, let's say like here, machete. So like here, equipment type. Actually here in Fallout 4, which is again the base for which Skyrim is built, you'll notice things like right hand, both legs, shield, voice as an equipment slot, potion, other, middle hand, both legs, left hand alt, left leg, lock slot, both hands. And again, this is just vanilla. This is just Fallout 4. But you can see that the baseline work is already there for Skyrim, which is why Skyrim was the first one that they remastered, because they already started the work when they made Fallout 4. Let's see. One-hand sword is the animation type. Where is the damage type? Common melee, instance name, attach keywords. Ammo, speed, critical damage multiplier, Dumbledore, no, wait, dismember only. I'll just do it here. you can see here under the damage, like the default is of course ballistic, or I guess bashing or slashing or whatever you want to call it, basic damage type. But you can see here it's actually built in cryo damage, electrical damage, energy damage, fire damage, physical damage, poison damage, and of course radiation. Of course, Skyrim itself will look similar to the Fallout directory. If we open up that, here's what my Skyrim directory looks like, because I use Mod Organizer, so I don't have to worry about mod conflicts. It's a very clean data directory. But if we go and look, say, at my H drive, again, very clean because I use Mod Organizer. You know, Skyrim Remaster is going to look like this. You're going to have BA2 files more than likely. I would not be surprised if the, big triangle that's used in Fallout for creating your character is in Skyrim. Because, again, it's built upon this engine. But I could also see them trying to retrofit the old one back in. So it could go either way on that. But yeah, you're more than likely going to have everything packed into BA2 files. Now, the first question that I hear a lot of people saying, do not want to do that. Is there's this big question of like, why does it cost money on consoles? Why doesn't? It's very simple logistics. If we go into, say, Steam, for example, it's very easy for Bethesda to say, oh, look, I've got the Elder Scrolls Skyrim and all of the DLC. It's very easy for them to simply add onto Skyrim another DLC. Now, granted, if you actually look in Steam itself, and search for the special edition, the game will unlock in approximately 3 weeks, October 28th. There's a special EULA associated with it. But as you can see, it's relatively easy for them to simply add Skyrim into your account. Now, consoles are a lot harder. What are they? Because let me put it to you in this way. Let's say that they were going to give everybody who had a previous version access to it. How do you account for that? First off, the hardware is different between Xbox One and PS4 and Xbox 360 and all that. Those are different. That's different hardware. So, first of all, it's different hardware. It's going to require a physical disc. Yes, I know Xbox One is back compatible, but that doesn't really mean anything because you can't really upgrade a software. You can't upgrade a console game. They're not fully computers yet. You can't just upgrade the software. You can't just install a massive overhaul. So they're two separate entities in and of themselves when it comes to consoles. That's you can't get around that. So, since they're two separate entities, they're going to be charged separately. It would be the equivalent of me owning, say, Skyrim Legendary Edition on the Mac, and then demanding that Bethesda give me the remaster on PC. They're two completely different entities, both from a marketing standpoint and from a technical standpoint. The special edition software, the coding, is not going to be compatible with your old disc from a decade ago that was Skyrim. So, that should answer everyone's question right there about, well, why can't they just give it out to console players? Because they're completely separate entities. It's a lot easier on PC to do these sort of sweeping changes, but consoles, not so much. Now, from a modding perspective, things are a little bit more difficult. Because while they have said that you should be able to load mods, assuming those mods don't require the SKSE script extender, and a good number don't. A lot of the mods that I've created don't require the SKSE script extender. Because they're things like armor overhauls. Like my practical female armor overhaul, which this particular setup of mods is set to highlight. Another good thing you'll probably notice with Skyrim, assuming all your mods are compatible and whatnot, is when you jump into it, it should be a hell of a lot stabler since it's going to be designed for a 64-bit OS. Since, the Fallout 4 creation kit is a 64-bit creation kit, while Skyrim is, by default, 32-bit. So anything requiring scripts probably isn't going to work. But things like armor mods, retexture mods, that should be fine. But anything requiring scripts is probably going to break when it comes to Skyrim. My flying spell. There it is. So, things like the flying spell, you'll probably not get. A lot of stuff that has to do with the MCM, probably won't get, because those are all script-based. So pretty much all this stuff you're probably not going to see, at least for a while, until something similar to MCM is developed for the Skyrim Remaster. So another common question that I'm constantly seeing regarding the Skyrim Remaster is, well, we already covered the cost of it, why it costs what it does. From a modder's perspective, what are we going to say? Well, I mean, that pretty much covers what you'll see from a modder's perspective. I should be able to, once the creation kit for Skyrim Remaster comes out, which I'm not quite sure how they're going to do that, but they'll probably treat it very similar to the creation kit for Fallout 4. Which is actually bundled into the Bethesda Net Launcher, along with, Fallout Shelter, Elder Scrolls Legends. So what will probably happen is that once the Skyrim Remaster comes out, they will add on another little block here, like when they released Elder Scrolls Legends, and you'll be able to just click on the little tab. You'll have a screen similar to this. Just tell it to auto update. And it'll look something like that, where it starts downloading a file and you'll see it in the little play bar, and once it's done, you're good. And then you'll have something like this, and it'll tell you to play. For us modders, we will probably end up launching it through Mod Organizer when it gets updated, or Nexus Mod Manager. But to actually see what it'll look like when it comes to the actual modding side of things, it's going to look very similar to the creation kit for Fallout 4. Ah yes, the PS4 debacle. I'll say it right here before I start explaining modding, PS4, and whatnot. Blame Sony. Just, it's Sony's fucking fault. Fuck Sony. Because I know, as a mod author, that Bethesda had built an entire system for modding to PS4. In fact, I uploaded several mods to PS4. I would go here, upload plugin, and archive to Bethesda.net, and under here was previously, not that long ago, a PS4 option, and I uploaded several mods to PS4, but then Sony, cut their ties, and Bethesda had to remove it. But up on Bethesda.net, and there are several people who were in the PlayStation 4 testing, beta test, downloaded my mods. And they were playing them, and they were commenting on them. Bethesda had a fully functional support system for Fallout 4 for PlayStation. And in fact, can I actually, if I were to check my Bethesda.net account, would it still show the entries for the PlayStation 4 mods? Let's check that out. Give me a second. I want to go to my content. Showing my, yeah. It's listed as deleted, but it's not actually permanently gone. Still, they have still got built-in support right here. So you can see right here, there were PS4 mods up on Bethesda.net. I can't even open them up. That's kind of a bummer. You can see here. Wonder if those are the moderators for Bethesda.net. Probably. But yeah, you can see. Perk tweaks, settlement tweaks. Power armor overhaul. Recruiter radio freedom. Legendary Kellogg. Timescale and other global tweaks. DT's armor project. All of these were mods I made for and uploaded to Bethesda.net for PlayStation 4. So Bethesda had a fully functional system for PlayStation 4 mods. It was being used. It was being tested. It had people downloading mods. There's probably someone out there with a PlayStation 4 right now running one of mine or one of the other beta mods. Or at least having it in their system. I'm not quite sure how well Bethesda would have done cleanup on that end. I mean, they probably just cut out the mods section on PlayStation 4. But if you were a PlayStation 4 beta tester, there's probably within the actual file structure of your PlayStation 4 several beta PS4 mods. So, I mean, that's really the crux of it. If you really were looking forward to Skyrim and Fallout 4 on your PlayStation 4 with mods, the issue comes right down to Sony, because it's right there on your screen, folks. The hardware, the software, everything was there supporting the mods. Sony didn't want to play ball on their end and took their ball and went home. As a mod author, as a developer, I clearly had access to it. I clearly uploaded stuff for Fallout 4, so I mean, you can't get any more obvious than that, folks. Bethesda built and had a functional network system for PlayStation 4 mods. And Sony said, screw you, we're going home. I mean, what else is there for me to show you guys? I've shown you what you're likely to see in the remaster. I've explained the cost issues. I've shown you what you can expect. And I've shown you the details for modding on PS4. I hope you find this informative. I hope you found it interesting. And, you know, have fun. Peace out, everybody.